All
Hi,
right.
Titos.
Hey, good evening.
Hi,
Welcome
Titos.
to another episode of Verified Titos PH. Good evening, Titos.
Good
My name is Nick,
evening.
and there's Rav, and there's Patrick. What's up,
Magandang
guys?
gabi.
Kamusta? It's been a
Good
week.
evening. Yeah, it's been a week at maganda ang first episode natin. So, ngayong second episode, maganda rin. Dito
Dapat
Patrick.
0.9 na tayo.
Dapat.
So,
Okay,
in,
so tonight we've got two guests. A friend of ours from Mitsubishi Philippines to talk about the new vehicles they launched during the pandemic, and also we've also got another guest from the Electronic Vehicle Association of the Philippines. Is that right, Patrick? EVAP,
Yeah,
to talk about
that's right.
there's something that happened, I do believe, 2 weeks ago, or
Last
was
week.
it last week?
Last week.
And what's the significance of
Yeah.
Mitsubishi and EVAP? Well, Mitsubishi also had their plug-in hybrid on display for everyone to see at the EVAP Summit. So
Pilops.
cool. Rav, who's going to be representing Mitsubishi tonight?
For Mitsubishi, si Mark Parulan.
All right, cool.
Yes. Guys, don't forget to, you can join our discussion sa Facebook and YouTube. So, pwede po kayong mag-type in question. Kung may question kayo, may suggestion kayo, pabati kayo. Yun lang po.
Can I?
Patrick?
Patrick, from EVAP, who are we
Yes.
having tonight?
We're having the president of the Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines, Edmond Araga, who had an event last week, the I think eighth Electric Vehicle Summit. So he's gonna talk to
Nice.
us about
8 na pala.
yeah, gonna talk to us about his ownership experience of the Outlander plug-in hybrid and all the other developments on the electric vehicle industry.
You also had a chance to own it for 3 days, right?
3 days, yeah.
Kamusta naman?
It's a good vehicle. Okay naman.
Nagustuhan ko yung
Magtipid.
sinasaksak lang eh. Pag wala ka na, sasaksak. Pwede kang sabihin, ay hindi ako makapunta, wala akong charge.
Lobat yung car ko eh.
Lobat yung car ko. Sorry, di kita ma-reply, lobat yung car ko. So, pwede na nating invite ang ating unang guest, si
Let's kick it off
Mark
with
from
Mark.
Mitsubishi. Hi, Mark. Ay, sorry. Nakamute. Ayan.
Hello, Tito Mark.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Hi,
sir.
Tito Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us on your Saturday night, Mark. Ito yung
You're welcome, sir.
the Titos are just hanging out and, especially during the pandemic, di ba, nasa bahay lang tayo. So, great way to hang out virtually, safely. Yun.
Yes.
Kahit kita tayo, okay lang.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about some of the vehicles that you came out with during, well, it's still the pandemic, but early on during the ECQ, right?
Yes. Actually, prior to ECQ, we launched uh, the Expander Cross. It's an upgraded Expander. The Expander is actually the best-selling MPV since it launched in 2018. So 2019 it carried over, and come 2020 we launched a new variant, which is the Expander Cross. For the campaign, we actually have a tagline says "Live Extra." Basically, the concept comes from the added features, which is it has a higher stance now at 225 millimeters, millimeters, sorry, and It also has some sporty design into it. So as you'll notice in the video, there are black trim, and then in the interior you'll have a dual tone leather seats, and as well as of course retaining all the top features that people love about the Expander.
Ang pogi.
Na-drive mo din yan, di
If
ba?
I'm
Ang
not
ganda.
mistaken, you were the first car brand to launch a vehicle in the pandemic, like the first week, diba?
Yes, actually, unfortunately, sir, we weren't actually able to launch it how we intended it to be. If I recall it, we already sent invites to everyone, and we were supposed to have a big event in
That's true.
Glorieta. However,
True.
when I think it's just a day prior to the event, the ECQ was announced, and we couldn't push through. So what we did was we just launched it via our campaigns online and through some media platforms, other media platforms.
Uh, and
Actually,
that hasn't
for
stopped Mitsu,
yes,
because she had other launches after that.
yes. Apart from that, once ECQ was lifted, we also launched the Strada Athlete. It's the top of the line variant for the Strada pickup truck.
Mhm.
Okay.
The Strata Athlete only comes in 4x4. Does it come in 4x2?
No, sir. Actually, comes in. It's available for 4x2 and 4x4.
All right.
So the additions to that is our black accents as well. As you notice, it has the black alloy wheels, 18 inches. Uh, it has a styling bar. Black decals. It has a more aggressive look than your regular Strada. And we have Mr. Brandon Vera, the one championship heavyweight champion, as our brand ambassador.
Wow. Ang ganda ng Strada.
I can take him.
Uh,
Lenin?
He's he's as mean looking as the Strata Athlete.
Yes.
It's
Actually, the selection process for the brand ambassador, Mr. Brandon Vera was the top choice, given that
did
he
you have to
actually
go in the ring?
qualified.
I know,
Sir,
Mark. Did you have to go in the ring
uh,
to audition?
did I? Did I no, no. But he's actually a very nice guy.
Uy, don't tell him. Magkita kami. Don't tell him.
Gugulping ka bigla. Yari ka.
Iba-
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ay,
But
nako.
it actually he best personifies the Strada. Not only is he a tough champion, he has a lot of substance as well. When you get to talk to him, he knows a lot more than just martial arts, and he's a very interesting person actually to talk to. So
Lamang lang
similar
siya
to the
kupit sa atin, eh, no?
you can
So,
say that, sir.
so meron tayong reaction sa ano, wait lang ha. Meron tayong reaction. It's from Ricky Magno. Yung sa expander,
Yeah.
perfect car daw for a family with limited budget.
Yes.
Yeah,
After,
can
yeah.
we just go over the price and the price per variant no ano?
Okay,
Nung,
sir. For the expander, well, for the expander cross, it sells for 1.225. That's for the top of the line variant. But for we do have other variants for the expander. Hold on, sir. So we have the GLX manual transmission. It sells for 1,008,000, and Expander GLX Plus at 1,088,000, and Expander GLS Automatic at 1.128. So there are several variants depending on the budget and preference of the buyer.
Bagay to sa mga ano eh, mga tito in training eh, no, itong coaching to.
Pag kasi ano daw, Ralph.
No, actually, it's the it's a perfect compromise. I think before, whenever you say MCV, people automatically think soccer mom car, di ba?
Tama,
So
tama.
what's good about the expander? It's still the styling or the styling is not compromised. It's very sporty. In terms of space, it's very spacious. It can seat up to 7 adult, and if you need to adjust or to move some seats in order to accommodate some cargo, it's very versatile. You can fold the third and second row to flat in order to accommodate more space for cargo.
Actually, my sister has an expander na yung hindi yung cross. So nung nakita ko
Ah,
yung cross, sabi ko, wow, mas laki nung kahit na ano, tumangkad siya, sabi ko, pang
uh,
ano to, pang tito in training talaga, hindi to pang babae.
Hindi mo siya ikahihiya dalin sa
yung
green
yes,
yung 90s,
yeah,
di ba?
uh,
yeah.
At mata green wheels pag Sabado ng gabi.
Tapos yun siyang SUV.
Oo,
mm,
mapagkamalan siyang SUV.
Yes.
That's
ayun. Sobrang ganda. So,
And
recent,
and still it's still very fuel efficient. We haven't tested it yet in terms of fuel consumption, but the regular expander, it can go up to 16 kilometers per liter.
that's not
wow.
that. That's pretty good. It's 1.5, di ba? 1.5
Yes, sir.
liter gas, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
1.5 Meron pa kayong recently, meron pa kayong ni-launch na isa pang kotse, di ba?
Yes. We launched the Outlander PHEV. It's
Mm,
actually the hero, what do you call it? The Halo model for Mitsubishi right now. The What's good about it, it's a combination of electric vehicle as well as hybrid vehicle. So
mm,
you combine both advantages of an electric and a hybrid.
oh,
So what's nice about it, if you're on electric mode, it's zero emission, and
mm,
then it's very responsive because there's no actually petrol to burn. But if you are in need of more power, it
mm.
activates the hybrid system in order to boost the car more. And there's no
Wow.
range anxiety because, for example, in electric mode, you can already go up to 55 kilometers in a full charge. But
Wow.
should you need more distance,
Mm.
you can convert to hybrid, which, if I'm not mistaken, it could go up to 550 kilometers.
Wow, ang layo
So
ah.
malayo-layo na yun. You can
Sa kaya
go back and
kailangan
forth sa
magdala
province
ng
without any
charger.
worries.
Ideal
Ah,
siya for Metro Manila, di ba? Because yung average travel if you live in the metro and going to work siguro mga 10, 15 kilometers, no?
yes, sir.
So if your full charge range is what, 55? Siguro mga
55.
4 days, okay ka, no?
Yes, sir. But you can actually you can just plug it at home. 5 hours would give you a full charge already. So overnight, you could leave it na lang. And then what's good also good about it, for example, naubos na yung charge mo. When you run using gasoline, while running, the car is charging. So you can revert back to electric mode once the car charges itself.
Ah,
Wow.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Do
May
you
And
need
another,
a special charging outlet for this?
it can be installed at your home for the outlet, but it's not very difficult or it's not very complicated to do.
mm,
So for at home, again, it's just 5 hours to fully charge the vehicle. And if you find a quick charger in commercial establishments, it will only take 25 minutes to get your battery up to 80%.
oh,
So
still.
kung if the adoption of electric vehicles becomes wider, then and magkakaroon ng mga charging stations around the
Yes, sir.
metro. Like that one at Uni Oil, 'di ba, sa EDSA?
Yes,
Meron.
yes, sir. Actually, and
Oo.
I think there's one in BGC as well. The Net Tower. I think they also have a charging station there.
Okay. Maganda. Pero ano, may question no. Hindi ba nakakatakot pagka may baha? Hindi naman.
No, no, no. It has a lot of safety systems incorporated in the car, so you won't have to be afraid of any electrocution. But
Okay.
yeah, actually, ano it debunks a lot of perception towards electric vehicles rin. Primarily kasi 'di ba, kaya nga ang tagline niya is electric and more. Normally people when you say electric vehicle yung kotse ko, they'll think, maliit, cute, it you'll be afraid of running out of power. Uh, the PHEV or the Outlander PHEV actually contradicts everything, all the bad perceptions about an electric vehicle or a plug-in electric vehicle. As you can
Mm,
see, one, there's a lot of space. It's a five-seater compact SUV.
mhm,
It has an SAWC or super all-wheel control. So it's actually really built to do a lot of exciting stuff with the vehicle.
Two-wheel drive.
It's good
exciting
for the,
talaga.
yeah, it's good for the outdoors.
Mhm,
As you can see in the video, it's running through snow.
mhm,
Uh, it has space. It has styling. It's not the
mhm,
styling is not compromised. So
mm,
it actually won. Not won. It was awarded 5 star by NCAP because of all the safety features incorporated in the vehicle.
mm, okay.
Ganda
So,
sana.
meron tayong ano, hindi, sorry. Meron
Yeah.
tayong question from our viewer. So,
All
si
right, go.
Ryan Fitzcar, approximately how much would it cost per charge?
Per charge. Sorry, I don't have a computation for that. But
Mm,
definitely, in the long run, you'll save a lot more compared to gassing up on a daily basis. Sorry, we can get back to you on that, Ryan.
okay. Tapos, may questions pa rin sa kanya, galing sa kanya. Lifespan of the battery.
It depends. Again, it's 55 kilometers on a full charge. It can run up to
Ah,
55 kilometers.
Okay, baka he's asking yung actual lifespan of the battery, yung how many years before
before
Ah,
magpalit ng battery.
to change
it
the battery.
should be. We have to get back on that, but it's not going to definitely wear uh, anytime soon. Mitsubishi cars are built to last.
Mm,
Uh, just seeing all the products that we've launched, there is it's built to be durable and
mm,
yeah, so it's built
yeah,
with quality.
okay.
Yung battery, is it lithium ion?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
All right.
So, speaking of uh, electric vehicle, so, Patrick, di ba meron tayong isa pang guest pa, regarding sa electric
Yes, we have the president of the Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines, Edmond Araga.
So, ayan po si Sir Edmond Araga. Good evening po.
Ayan.
Good evening.
Hi, Tito Edmond.
Hi, Sir
Sorry.
Edmond.
Hi mga titos. Sorry, I was having some technical issues kanina. So, I just got in. So, hi Sir Mark.
Hi, Sir
Good evening.
Edmond. Good evening, sir.
Mm.
So, yung na-drive po namin last time ni with Tito Patrick, yung inyong Outlander. Ano pong ano niyo po dun sa Outlander? Since may owner po kayo ng isang Outlander plug-in hybrid.
Okay, first and foremost, thank you for having me as your guest here in Tito Verified. And I'm glad that I'm part of the Titos. Okay. So, si Tito Mark.
Hi, sir.
Anyway,
I I've been
second
titified.
second is it's not only me who owns the unit, but it's EVAP. This
Mm.
is this is part of our advocacy of promoting the electric vehicles that we are using. We walk the talk, no, and we really are open to lending it or loaning it to people like you for you to test it and make an experience that this one is really an effective vehicle. And alam nyo, natutuwa ako nung I was approved by the board of getting this unit. So excited that I got it before the lockdown. So during the lockdown, sabi ko may mga since wala akong travel abroad that time, I'm planning for a long trip. But yun nga, na-lockdown tayo. So wala long trip. So I only tested it. Well, I maximize the full the utilization of using of an electric. Siguro kasi ang average driving ano ko is about 50 to 60 a day. Eh. So I was capable of maximizing I fully utilized the capacity of the battery, and it really is whatever it's on the specs is yun talaga yung nagre-reveal.
Mm.
And then ang sarap ng pakiramdam na wala kang gas anxiety. Okay. So what I mean by that, kahit wala kang panggas, meron kang pantakbo kasi may baterya naman yan. Di ba? And at
So,
the same
Correct,
time,
correct, correct.
sa bahay mo lang i-charge eh. And to charge it at cost about when we make a computation with the academe, yan yung ano namin, yan yung expertise ng mga engineers. Ako, engineer lang ako eh. Sila mga engineers, no?
mm.
The cost is around 4 pesos per kilowatt. So, if you have 11 peso per kilowatt per hour, ang liit lang naman consumption nun daily. And it's on the specs about 5 hours charging. Eh, sa akin, 4 hours lang, puno na eh.
Mm.
So, ang laki ng savings. Imagine if you drive about 30 or 40 kilometers and if you use a 2 liter gas engine, no? Magkano rin yung gasolina mo doon? Daily. Malaki. So, it really saves a lot. Plus the fact that you're not using a small car, you're using an SUV. Medyo may kabigatan to, pero it has the full, kumbaga sa hotel, full amenities eh, no? Kompleto na siya eh, di ba? As an SUV, what more can you ask for? Mataas na daan, ang sarap gamitin. Pangalawa is like, it really tells you that electric ba to? O maandar ba to? Kasi napakatahimik eh. And then, ang sarap ng pakiramdam na you're not emitting any carbon dioxide while using an electric.
Vehicle.
Pero one thing that is, ang style ko, when I'm on a highway, I'm using gas. Kasi pagka nasa mga range about average of 80 to 100 kilometers, I have to save the battery. So I make use of the gas. Eh pagka naman mga 80 to 100 kilometers per hour ka, hindi naman malakas sa gasolina yun eh kung tuloy-tuloy ka eh. And I'm living in the south, so most of my usual destination is on SLEX and coastal. So pagka nakalabas ka naman dito, dire-diretso lang.
Mm.
Yeah.
So may setting po siya na kung gusto nyo gas, pwede yung electric. Tama po ba?
That's the nice thing about the Outlander.
Mm.
As I observe, priority is electric. And then you have the saving mode. Actually ngayon, EV mode na doon sa 2020. Medyo mas na siya. Ang bilis ng shift mo from electric to gas ka. Pero syempre, if you're a cellphone user, you don't use it, you fully utilize it as zero. So magre-retain ka ng mga retention ka ng mga 2 kilometers and then save it. Or when you make an application of the brakes, it has a regenerative braking system that it pulls back o dinadala yung power doon sa battery to have some to regain power. Tapos it has an option of from B0 to B4. Yun yung level system of having it on charge while application of the brake. So malaking tulong sa battery yun na nakakapag-produce ka ng power.
Yeah. And
So
just to
Tama ba
add
ako, Sir
to
Mark?
yes, sir. Actually, very accurate. And just to add, apart from the vehicle that you charge the vehicle has also the capability to discharge, wherein you can use it for we call this meron kasing program na sa Tokyo, the Dendo Drive House, wherein vehicle to home. So, pwede mag-discharge yung kotse and ibigay niya yung energy to the house or to whichever.
So it becomes a power source.
Yes, yes, sir. It becomes a power source. Correct. That's a
Wow.
perfect term.
Astig
So,
naman.
So,
in turn, natitipid mo yung kuryenteng ginagamit mo from the vehicle instead of getting your electricity for some
yeah.
appliances or what from the grid. No?
Yes, sir.
Actually,
And for example, you went camping, you can actually use the electricity to power whatever utensils, equipment that you want to charge.
So,
in addition to that, it can also use as an emergency to, kunyari, there are some tragedies or some
Yes.
emergencies that needs power, then you make use of Outlander. Specifically, especially kung steep roads or something, o nasa mountainous areas ka na kailangan mo ng
Ng
power,
electricity.
electricity, temporary you can make use of the Outlander. That's why on their commercial, di ba?
Mm.
Ang hinahabol nila yung tornado,
Lightning.
kukuha sila ng kuryente.
Kasi ng kuryente. So, nasabi niyo po na pwedeng magsaksak ng appliances
Yes.
or any,
It has 2 power outlets at the mid console and as well as at the back.
The back.
So, pwedeng kahit nagka-camping ka, no? Pwede ka magdala ng portable
Yeah.
aircon.
Wow!
May aircon naman yung kotse. But in one exhibit that we went to, they actually bake cookies using the power of the Outlander. So, it's just one example. For example, an electric griller, you can actually plug it in. And perfect example yung sinabi ni Sir Edmond that for disasters wherein there is power shortage, you can utilize the Outlander as a source of energy.
Wow. Galing na naman yan. Para pareho sa mga preppers din, no?
Yeah. Uh,
Tito Patrick.
When you had the Outlander, sobrang tipid, yeah. Especially in yung battery charging. Coming from your house, Commonwealth Drive, going to our house, from medyo konti na lang yung battery, no? Pero pagdating ko sa bahay, halos puno na yung battery. That short trip. So magaling.
To Manila.
From
Ay, sorry.
Commonwealth to Manila.
Okay lang po, sir.
Enoma ba to? Sorry.
Okay lang po. Titong-tito po.
Sa oras
May
naman eh.
nightcap na yun, no, sir?
Tito Mark.
Kala ko kasi ito man yung invitation nyo, kaya nagdala ako. May mani pa nga ako rito. Ito man eh.
May mali. So, Tito Mark, meron pa bang ibang in the near future na mga electric vehicle tayong
Ah,
aside from
yeah. Right now, our Halo model would be the Outlander PHEV. So, of course, we're hoping that there will be more products to come in the near future. We're sure that Mitsubishi is continuously developing to provide more innovations. But for now, the focus would be on the Outlander PHEV.
nice. Okay.
Sir Mark, Tito
Yes, sir.
Mark, di ba
Yes,
mga
sir.
dealers yun, lalagyan rin yun ng charging station, di ba?
Yes,
Ala,
So
yes, sir.
soon. So,
Yes, sir.
yung range
Early
anxiety nung iba, ano?
Yes, sir. We're targeting early 2021. For now nga pala, our Manila Bay branch has a unit available. So if there's anyone who would like to see the Outlander PHEV in full metal, please visit the Mitsubishi Manila Bay branch. Then they are the pilot dealer to exhibit or to sell the Outlander PHEV, and soon more dealers will follow.
Mm,
Right,
okay.
I have a question. Ano yung service interval ng ng Outlander plug-in hybrid?
Ah, okay, sir. If I'm not mistaken, still it's the same. 5,000 kilometers. For the first, and then it follows the same as the other vehicles as well. 510, so on and so forth.
Copy.
All right, very cool.
So,
I think
pag-usapan na,
Piramay. Parang nakita ko yun sa gauge mo, Edwin, nung hiniram ko. Lumabas. Per
For
service
maintenance.
interval.
Mm.
Okay.
I see. Dadali na ni Sir Edmund.
Actually, I already gained the first PMS hindi pa doon sa Mitsubishi peak sa
Dealership,
may
yeah.
dealership. Dinala ko pa sa Quezon Ave kasi that time ang accredited lang for the electric daw is doon sa Quezon
Quezon
Ave.
Ave.
So doon ko dinala. That was in June. Tapos ngayon, mahina kasi ako sa consumption sabi ko sa inyo. Isipin nyo, imagine niyo 60 to 100 a day ako. So yung 5,000 ko, easy. Easy lang sa akin yun eh. Kaya nga yung pagka nagkakaroon ako mga kotse, totally utilize, fully utilize ko yung mga sasakyan. So, ang range ng mga kotse ginagamit ko mahaba yung milyahe. So yung 5,000 easy sa amin yun.
All right. So where are we now with the government, and electric vehicles and hybrids? Are we any closer to coming up with good incentives for the manufacturers to bring in these cars and bring the price down? Kasi, di ba, the whole point behind electric vehicles and hybrids is that more people should be buying these. Pero nangyayari yung presyo nila is nakapeg sa mga luxury variants, luxury executive vehicles, di ba? Parang it's still very limited. It should be making its way towards the mid, at least to the mid and the upper lower end of the market, di ba?
Yeah.
Yes, Boss Edmond, Tito Edmond, you're part of EPAP. Could you give us an idea of where we are with that sort of arrangement?
Well, for one, we have our champion already that from the Senate and from the Congress. From Senate, it was Senator Gatchalian who was pushing for the bill of Bill number 1382, wherein it states Electric Vehicles and Charging Stations Act, where it has its ngayon it is on the second interpellation na yata ang sabi ni Senator Gatchalian, and they're looking at possible within the year to approve it. Now, it is being backed up by Congress, by Congressman Lord Velasco and Congressman Bernos, wherein it is quite the same as the content of Senator Gatchalian. If this would pass into law in Senate and in Congress, the only thing that makes it more vulnerable and is the approval of President Duterte. With these regulations, it would help the mainstream to reach the parity or in comparing it to ICE. Now, siyempre sa ngayon, talaga namang ang hinahanap is incentives, fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. And one of our members, Mitsubishi and Nissan, were eyeing for incentives to lower down the cost kasi napakamahal nga naman yung pagkaka-broadening here. And then, part of it is having a localization on some electric vehicles. So, we're looking at an arrangement wherein ang pinaka ano lang namin is we got the nod from BOI, we got the nod from DOE, and we got the nod from DENR. Isa na lang yung hinihilot namin, Department of Finance, because when you talk about incentives, that's what their forte is. Eh medyo allergic sila, lalo ngayon during this pandemic, pagka incentives, di ba? Now, they're looking at the avenues of how can they integrate the existing tax measures or existing subsidies that might tailor fit on the needs of the electric vehicle industry. So, we never stop on pushing for this, and we lend our hand already. In fact, just last week, we had our Technical Committee 89 wherein we establish standards on electric vehicles and the infrastructures. And we see fit that the government is really supportive. The only thing that makes it more sensible enough is the regulations has to be passed.
Tama. Tama.
All right. Well, let's get deeper into this in a few moments. I think we have to let Mark go first.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for having me here. Sir Edmund, nice to see you again, sir.
All right. Good night,
Thank you.
sir. Good night.
Thank you, Mark.
Tito Mark.
It is easy, Mark.
Thank
I
you.
just have one message to Mark.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to thank MMPC for bringing in the Outlander.
Oh,
That
thank you.
You had the audacity to bring it in, even with the government still hasn't been, uh, let's say, fully supportive about EVs. Uh, like we reported before, one other brand is still iffy about bringing EVs until the government solidifies
It's
EV vehicles
easy.
for the Philippines. So thank you,
Uh,
MPC.
Yeah.
Thank you as well, Sir Patrick. Well, it's always our goal to provide the market with products that will always provide them with the best features and as well as convenience. So it's our pleasure to bring in the Outlander PHEV and showcase what Mitsubishi can do.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank
Mark.
you. Sir.
Ingat.
It
Good
is.
night,
Bye
Tito
Tito
Mark.
Mark.
bye.
See you around.
Yes, sir. Kita po tayo, Sir Edmund. Bye.
Sir Edmond, meron lang question. May phone-in question po tayo.
Wag lang mat ha. Hindi ba mat yan?
It is full electric. Do I have to register it to LTO? Si
Yes,
Ryan is.
definitely. There is already the guidelines for the registering the electric vehicles. In particular, there are categories. Actually, we are waiting for there is a new circulation that will be coming out from LTO para ma-regulate natin yung lahat such kasi napakadami ng electric eh. Electric pan, meron.
Sir,
Ayun, yung tanong ko pala sa about your Outlander. Kaya ba siya regular na white saka black plates dahil may makina pa rin? Kasi hindi ginawang ano, yung
Well,
sa LTO na
yung
orange sa white.
oh, the advent of registering the electric vehicles was using the orange plate before. But
Oo,
now I
oo.
think they would make use of one color na lang. Kasi the supplier
Okay.
before was imported, but now it is locally produced inside the LTO premises.
Oo.
So parang mawawala na yata yung ganong specs na
Okay.
may variation of color of the on the plate to identify as
Oo.
electric.
So
Okay.
parang private vehicle na lang siya, no? White sa white.
Yeah. Oh,
Question,
Okay,
boss.
okay.
yes, Tito
So,
Neil.
teka. Cheers.
You know, cheese.
So it was just, di ba, mentioned some weeks ago nga na they'll be requiring registration of pati yung mga electric scooters, that sort of thing, uh, when they get used on the road. Ano na yung anong and ano yung classification nila? Will you still will they be TPL? May TPL ba? May insurance ba yun? I mean, because everyone on the road should have some form of accountability, di ba?
Right, right. Actually, on the one that they have drafted, it came from EVAP and it is being um, we were the ones who made the draft on this circulation. May category siya, yung sinasabi nating mga e-scooters o electric kick scooters. We call it e-mobility na on such a way that it can be used on inner routes lang or mga barangays limited to. Tapos there are certain areas lang na pwede siyang gamitin. Even on the bike lanes can be used, no? But not on highways. Kasi meron siyang certain speed na ini-establish wherein syempre if you're on an electric scooter and running on 100 kilometers per hour, di ba nakakatakot saka delikado sa mga road users din. Pangalawa is that they have to not to register but merely on traceability of the ownership. Kasi yung claims on like for example accident, insurance or something na claims kailangan lang na yung dealers should have meron to the LTO that they would know of kung kaninong proper unit itong ginagamit na to. Kasi syempre for one kahit na electric kick scooter baka makabundol yan, makakapatay din yan, di ba? And kanino ba yung responsibility niyan? Yun yung mga bagay na kailangan natin secure eh. Secondly is that we made sure that when using an electric, it comes with the standards. Kasi yung consumer din naman kawawa na baka mamaya underrated o hindi on dapat na tamang specs. May binentahan yung bata, mga about 16 years old. Sabihin, ang capacity lang 20 kilometers pero tumatakbo na 60 or 80. Diba? Yung mga simple modifications niya, kailangan may control eh.
So covered din po ba siya ng nung lemon law? Especially for those that buy yung mga medyo malalaking
I think so kasi if they pass through well, to be honest, there are some importance kasi yung kailangan natin ma-eliminate that they didn't pass through right permits and documentation. So the thing is on claiming some documentation or permits, dapat they have to comply with the government. So as the consumers would be on a safer ground. Now in terms of lemon law, mostly dapat yung mga binibila nila is mayroon talagang pangalan sa industriya at rehistrado. Kasi pag nag-claim naman yung mga consumer at hindi na address yung concern on after sales. Ang hirap, di ba?
Mm-mm.
So, that's what we have to protect. The image of the industry relies on it.
Oh, kasi it's good that you're requiring, the government will be requiring registration. Kasi ibig sabihin, yung mga gusto maging dealer din will have the necessary papers for the vehicles they're selling. Especially, I think I remember when we visited you at your place nung tinest drive ni Patrick yung Outlander, we talked about the electric scooter company that I visited earlier that day na they are also having problems with their own dealers uh, who wanted to sell their product, but since it was sort of unclassified at the time, hindi sila makakuha at makapagbenta ng with the proper paperwork.
Paperwork. Yun nga din yung isang issue na if ever na yung mga dealers, the legitimacy of the papers or documents that they have released for the consumers should secure that it gauges o dumaan sa mga dapat na classifications. And for, alam mo yun, in claiming some after sales or whatever, may proof naman sa lahat ng mga importante yung proof eh. Pangalawa is like, kaya yung iba nakakabenta ng mura, mura nga, mumurahin mo rin pagkatapos mong gamitin kasi sira na. Diba? Maiinis ka lang eh. Tapos ang nasisira yung industriya eh. Hindi kagaya ng mga local manufacturers, they comply with all the requirements. They even assess ISO certification and everything. Tapos, sasabihin, ba't ang mahal lang unit mo? Eh, hindi mo naman masabi na lahat kinomply namin para mapakita namin sa consumer that they are protected. And it passes through a lot of quality and tests for them to realize that what we're selling is foolproof, that we're selling the image of the industry or we're selling our name on it.
And
Nakataya yung mga balls namin doon eh, di ba?
as a consumer, you're buying a proper vehicle or
Proper
mode of
proper vehicle, yes, oo.
kasi yung nangyayari diyan, a lot of people yung mga binibili nilang electric, for example, electric bikes or those electric scooters na pang village lang dapat, nakakarating hanggang EDSA, nakakarating hanggang Marcos Highway, 'di ba?
Yes, yun nga eh. During the pandemic situation, they capitalize on sabihin, wala kami iba sasakyan kundi ito lang, di ba? Tapos gagamitin naman nila on hindi sa necessary roads. So, sabihin nila, wala kami sasakyan, ganyan. Pero, people has to be educated on the limitations of the units that they're using. Even on tricycles naman, di ba? They are really limited on some barangay routes sa roads lang and all, but not on national highway.
Well, 'di ba
Yung,
si DILG naglabas ng memo some years ago forbidding tricycles nga on national highways or roads where vehicles will drive in excess of 40 kilometers per hour. 'Di ba? Pero hindi
yes.
naman enforce eh.
No, actually, it was enforced. The only thing is, ang gaano kadami ang manguhuli sa dami ng tricycle? Gaano yung operations ng LTFRB or sabihin na natin ng LGU para mandohan yung lahat ng yan. Ang problema, may manguhuli ka dito, doon sa kabilang side, hindi mo mahuhuli kasi gumagana sila. And I've talked with the DOTR. We're close on discussing with them. Talagang pagka nagkaroon sila ng operation, nawawala. Pero bilang ka ng oras, pagka wala na yung mga nanguhuli, babalik sila. And we're talking of, say, for the tricycle itself, the registered is at 3 million. But, yung kolorum, times 2 or times 3. So, in Luzon alone, napakaraming tricycle na hindi mo basta-basta mahuhuli yan. Malapalos yung mga yan di ba?
Naglalabasan paggabi eh.
Paggabi, Mahirap actually, Tito nila, mahirap magsalita kasi ito nga, from the start pa lang, ang tingin sa amin as electric, ang tingin sa amin ng mga TODA, mga PEDJODA, mga kalaban, hindi kami kakampi. Because we are changing the system. We're changing the process. We're changing their vehicles. But hindi nakikita yung beauty na what would be in store for them, the benefits of using it. And having it on a very systematic setup that it would be gain for all, not only on our gains, but to all. It's a win-win situation. Yun yung napakahirap na struggle on our part. We educate people in the manner that we extend our two hands already. Kaso, hindi nila naiintindihan yun. Ang kailangan nila, pati yung paa namin isama. So, ganun. Nako, naglolobat na yung cellphone ko. Sorry ha. Baka mamaya bigla ako mag-evaporate dito.
Alright, so
hindi ko ma-charge kasi yung earphone nandun sa Sorry.
Okay na.
Well, yeah, so daming ang pwedeng pag-usapan with regard to mga electric vehicles and stuff like that. Would you like to briefly just tell us how your last summit went? And you actually got to drive the Nissan Leaf.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 years ago, when Nissan brought us to Singapore for the Nissan Futures, we already tested Neo, and Nissan Leaf, and all. Napakasarap ng pakiramdam. And to tell you frankly, it's very different when driving a pure electric. And I'm fascinated with the technology. And like, in fact, on my Outlander na lang, iba yung features nila, 2016 model yun, pero yung mga features nila ngayon pa lang halos ino-offer sa mga common SUVs. Ngayon, in terms of what we had last week, the 3-day EV Summit is our first virtual summit na natuwa naman ako, we pull it through even though may technical glitches at nataon talaga. Nag-announce was PLDT na from September 25 to 26. Yung first day namin, nakalusot na kami pero may glitches pa rin. Alam mo yun? Napakahirap pero it's a lot of adjustment but we came and pulled it through. And it's worthwhile because there were a lot of viewers and na-appreciate nila yung the EV Summit. And very difficult for me to convince the board of directors to push for it kasi napakahirap din maghanap ng sponsors, magsusupport, logistics side of things, and it's very new. But at least we started it off. Pwede nang gayahin ng iba. We are proud to say that what we did is an innovation in terms of presenting our advocacy on a digital, 'di ba?
Tama. Galing, you were when we came to visit you, were expressing your medyo apprehensions, no? Online and virtual, when in fact, especially a lot of your sponsors want on the ground event, di ba?
Yeah. Ang daming nawala na opportunities on our part specifically. Kasi kami as EVAP, no, kami mismo yung on hand on preparing all those setup eh. Wala naman kaming kinukuha ang mga provider or ibig sabihin meron kaming backup pero kami pa rin yung hindi kagaya ng ibang organizers or ibang associations. They rely on the platform provider na lang, bahala na sila. Kami hindi. May touch, meron kaming talaga eh. Hands-on kami doon sa setup.
Kayo na mismo yung parang supplier na
Hindi lang yun. Ako rin nga, director. Hindi. Yung, napakahirap yung pressure and whatsoever yung pagka nagkakaroon ng technical glitches and all. Tatawag sa yung sponsor, ganito, mayroong ganito. Siyempre, napakahirap. Pero, well, worth it naman kasi what we are proving is the essence of our job is to prove them wrong, that we can do it. And for our 10 years anniversary, ito yung first na nangyari. Kaya talagang very memorable siya. Um, with all the difficulties and hurdles, nagawa namin siya.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Tuloy pa
With
rin
your
yan.
support as well. Ando naman, kaya, yun yung, kaya very thankful ako sa inyo na in spite of na ano ba naman kami, alipin sa gigilid lang naman yung association namin. So,
Grabe naman.
so hindi naman kami big time ng mga association. So, wala naman din tong at least nandiyan kayo as you're very supportive in our endeavors.
Well, importante din yung trabaho na ginagawa nyo. You know, it's great that you're there to help, you know, nudge the government more or less in the direction that we should be going anyway, 'di ba?
Actually, Tito Neil, what we are proving is government and private sector can work together in building an industry. And it is
Tama.
really possible that what we're doing is for the Filipino people and what we're doing is for all. Ika nga ni GB Santos, it's for every all. Diba? Titong-tito, no? Pero,
Tama.
what I'm saying is that what we are addressing is kung hindi nag-step up ang private sector for this, who's going to do it?
That's right.
Wala eh.
Correct.
So, we have to lead the way and help them pull through so that we would be able to prove to the market that we are here
Tama.
and we can do better things. Eh, it's not only business that we're counting on. It's also providing an environmental friendly advocacy on we have our own children, di ba? Actually, bumababa na yung kagaya to, may pandemic tayo, ang mga sakit natin, virus. Ang kailangan natin, beer and us. Virus, di ba? Okay? So,
Tama.
so
But
ang inaano natin is that on the air pollution and the noise pollution, we address all those things to make a better place to live in. And we don't want our children to suffer in the end. Tayo, pag umabot tayo ng 60, 65, thank you na tayo ngayon, di ba? Bumaba na yung mortality rate ng Pilipinos, di ba? So, sana abutin din nila yon. Yun lang.
that's true. Oo.
Thank you.
So, Boss Edmond, you know what? I think we should guest you again soon so we can talk more
Sure.
Tama.
the actual summit. We ended talking about a lot about electric vehicles and other things that surround that. Diba? So, siguro let's Tito Patrick, let's schedule Tito Edmond soon again.
Anytime.
Definitely.
Maraming pwedeng pag-usapan pa.
Tama.
Anytime. Wag lang wag lang tungkol sa math kasi alam ni Patrick yun. Mayayari tayo kay Sureball Pailona, di ba? Sa balangit na
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a happy
Tulog
weekend,
na,
happy
Tito
weekend.
Edmond.
Busi ka lang beer. Tulog na.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mon.
All right, so, di ba guys, napakalawak din nung scope nung electric vehicles because what those guys are doing is not only just convincing government to legislate and industry to put up charging stations, pero yung I think the big picture is maybe also improving the way we generate electricity, di ba?
Mm.
May electric vehicles ka nga, you're saving money, you're saving fuel by plugging in and charging. Pero how do we generate electricity? Nakaka-pollute pa rin, di ba?
Tama.
So
Tama.
I think wala pa tayo dun sa point na yun eh. Right now, we're at the point where we want to save money
Mm.
by you going electric. Pero I think hindi rin malayo mangyari na we need to start being really earth friendly and siguro finding different ways to generate electricity
Yung
na
carbon footprint nga natin,
reduce
di ba?
our carbon footprint, 'di ba?
Mm.
I mean, it's wala pa yung environment sa mindset ng mga Pilipino talaga eh.
Mm.
Because a lot of Filipinos are just surviving day to day.
Tama.
So hindi pa nila talaga, we really haven't got to the point where I need to be earth friendly. I just need to eat, put food on the table, 'di ba? Put
Mm.
gas in my car so I can get to work.
Tama. Kasi di
Oh,
ba, like other countries ngayon, like California, by 2030, wala nang electric cars na. They're pushing for electric cars na talaga.
yeah.
I heard that news last week yata. Yun.
Tsaka, a lot of the car makers are really going into that direction talaga to, develop, and a lot of them have made it their mission to show people that being electric cars are still as fun to drive as regular gasoline cars, di ba? Internal
Yeah,
combustion.
tama.
Oh,
So yun, salamatin natin ulit si Mark at saka si Sir Eric, Edmond,
Edmond.
Sir Edmond sa pag-guest sa atin dito ngayon. And gusto ko rin
First
ulit
guest and verified.
first guest na, gusto ko rin magpasalamat kay Doc Kit. Siya nag-provide ng green screen ko. Ngayon lang. Kaya kung makikita nyo ngayon, may DeLorean ako sa likod. Kaya kung may DeLorean sa likod dahil sa yun.
good job, man. Good job. So,
So,
curious ako pag nagka-green screen si Tito Patrick, ano yung gagawin niyang background eh?
Meron na.
Meron na.
Swimming pool sa Japan.
Surprise.
ayun.
Man. Anyway,
So,
so there you go. Another fun episode. Medyo seryoso yung diskusyonan natin kanina with regard to EVs and stuff. But it's interesting because yan yung what's over the horizon. Actually, nandiyan na eh, 'di ba? How are we going to get the Philippines to adopt more electric cars? That would be pretty interesting. Diba? So medyo ano. Pero yeah, so another episode of Verified Titos PH.
and please please follow, subscribe, and like yung aming mga Facebook tsaka YouTube at Instagram namin.
All right, cool.
And abangan nyo yung Outlander video review.
Video review ng Outlander Feb.
Yeah, yun yung gamit ni Edmond, right?
Tama.
So
Yes,
it's
correct.
just 1 or 2 years older than
The
the
current one.
current Outlander.
Yeah,
So
the one they launched. Yeah.
all right.
Okay, hanggang next Saturday, samahan niyo po kami ulit.
Okay, next week, mga titos.
All right, guys.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.